to drive. So let's wait for it to test out, and then we can see what percentage it's at. And the car is absolutely dirty. Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning to another video. As you can see, it's a little too early. I'm usually not up this early. It's like 7 a.m. And the only time I'm really up early is for cars and coffee. It's starting to get a little cold. I should probably get my hoodie because it's a little chilly right now. So it's probably gonna be one of the last few cars and coffees we do for this season. Every year I tell myself I'm gonna do a lot of cars and coffee, but life kind of happens and I just don't end up doing it because they're just like super early. So but yeah, we're gonna attend this one. I'm also interested to see what cars are there. We're gonna talk about some of the plans with this car, get some inspiration from some of the Mustangs over there hopefully, and I'm also gonna itch for project cars, so that's always nice. So we're gonna check out what cars are there and see what the future plans are for the channel. Of course, we got some fueling issues, so let's fix that first. In fact, that's definitely one of the downsides of the E85 that I'm starting to experience. Like last night I knew I was gonna come to this cars and coffee and I was kind of low on fuel, but typically I would have been able to make it to the cars and coffee, fill up my gas over there. But now I had to do this morning run to get some gas because I didn't have enough, or I had like maybe just barely enough, but not enough to make it back. So I don't want to risk it. So I was like, I have to fill it up before I head there. I'm testing the E85 right now. This station has been really good. It always tests like 80, 82, but I still test it because I don't fill up that often. So I was like, it takes only 5 minutes for some extra insurance to make sure that there's nothing going bad in the car's engine. So let's wait for it to test out, and then we can see what percentage it's at. And the car is absolutely dirty. I kind of knew I was gonna go to this cars and coffee, but not until like last night. So I didn't wash the car or anything. And you can see like all these spots here. Like this is dirty. I can probably clean the windows right now with the water here, but it's fall-ish time. But all the leaves are falling and it's just leaving all this mark. You can see, I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, like this leaf right here. But the car is dirty. It definitely needs a car wash right now. But we don't have that much time, so we're gonna just go ahead and go to the cars and coffee, see some Mustang, get some inspiration. But also, mainly, I want to take a look at the project cars. I've been debating with that idea, maybe a different Mustang, like a 3-valve, just to kind of build it up, like a mini build series, or C5 Vet was a popular option on one of my polls that I sent out, or even a Miata. I really want a stick shift car that I can kind of toy with, do a little bit of build. Nothing extreme, but it would be nice to get have a stick shift car. I love this car. The plans for this car next are definitely going to be go headers and boost, or I'm just really trying to figure out which route I want to go with this car. As far as cosmetic is pretty much done, power wise pretty much done. I love the E85 tone. I was kind of skeptical that it may not really increase the power much, but it has surprised me how much it pulls with the E85 tune, and I don't even have the headers. Actually, the next mod, if you can call it, I need to get a funnel that fits this, because I had a funnel but it doesn't really fit this, and I always make this mess here. And I mean, it dries up, so I don't really care, but probably I need to be a good sport with that. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, and as you can see, it's around 83 to 84%, which is good enough for me. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it up. I honestly wish, there's so many E85 gas stations around me, but I honestly wish some of them tested more consistently. This is the only one that's been consistently 80 plus. The rest of them are like 75. The reason being is that this is $3.25, so it still ends up being like, I don't really get the gas savings with the E85. Once you factor, it's cheaper than the premium, because premium would have been close to $4, but once you factor in the low miles per gallon, it more or less nets out. I don't think I'm paying more with the E85, but more or less nets out. But the other ones are like $2.50, $2.60. That would have really helped with the gas savings. And now it's starting to get cold, so I was kind of skeptical with the blend, but I'm kind of surprised that still at 85% or so. Now that we're all filled up, let's head to the cars and coffee and check out some of the cool cars. What are the odds? Talking about Miata, I ended up finding a spot all next to this Miata. This is the ND, and you can see the size difference is just crazy next to the Mustang. Look at that. Like, it's so tiny compared to the Mustang, but I think that's the charm of it. It's like low weight and it's got decent power for it, and a stick shift really makes it for a fun drive. Definitely less crowded than it has been because the weather is turning, because typically I would never be able to find a parking spot there. It's always in the back, but it's still got a lot of variety of cars. You can see a GTR, LFA, old school Porsche, NBNC Miatas, Viper, Lamborghinis as well. And right behind me is actually a classic Corvette too. Talking about classics, we got a classic Mustang here as well, and a beautiful red next to a Viper. And then a classic Porsche. This one is very clean interior, automatic red Mustang. Maybe one day. It just looks so beautiful. We've got a 2025, 2026 Chevy Corvette ZR1. This is the first one I'm seeing in person. Full carbon fiber treatment from the wheels to the spoiler and pretty much everywhere. The ZR1 really has changed the world in the supercar game. Even though it's a Chevy, I call it a supercar. Here we've got some Mustangs here, S550, the pre-refresh and the post-refresh. All of them are GTs. I really love the black one. And this one's got the white performance pack, as you can see from the chin splitter and the wheels. And now we've got a 15 through 17 S550 with some performance pack 2 replica wheels. I do like the spoiler. I think that's something I've been considering for mine. I initially did not want a wicker bill. Let me get it closer. Alright, so you can see this one's got the wicker bill. It looks a lot more aggressive. And as I kind of build a car more, and if I especially get a front splitter, I think I'm going to go with a wicker bill GT500 spoiler. It just looks a lot more aggressive than the other ones. So that was fun. People are starting to leave, so that's pretty much a wrap for the cars and coffee. Surprisingly, I did not see a lot of Mustangs except the last 3 that I saw over there. There was like, look really nice. They're very clean, but they're pretty much kind of stock except these spoilers. So I was hoping to see a lot more Mustang too. I think I really want to do the wicker bill spoiler, I think, but I'm gonna need something on the front as well to make the front a little bit more aggressive, so it's, a little bit more cohesive design and it's not just very aggressive from the back and the front, because right now the front, it just looks very stock. It is stock, so I just need something on the front as well. So maybe I'll get a chin splitter. I've been avoiding it because the car is lowered. I figured I'll pay a good bit of money for a front splitter and I'll end up scraping it. So, but I think I need to change up the look a little bit, so we'll definitely do that. Spoke to a guy with actually a supercharged 2-valve. He's owned it since brand new, so 25 years, and it was really clean. But a lot of Corvettes as well, so it was nice. So let's talk about. But yeah, so let's go ahead, and we're pretty much done with the cars and coffee. So we're gonna go ahead and head out and talk about the plans with this car and also the future plans with, potential project car that I've been kind of debating about. Because honestly, it would be nice to get a little bit of project car on the channel and do some work on it. Because this car is pretty much maxed out unless I go boost or maybe headers. Those are the only things I can do. But it's pretty maxed out in terms of what I can build on it, but I don't want to get rid of it because that was the first brand new car I bought it, and I bought it with the intention I'm going to keep it for 10-15 years, and that was before the channel started. I really want to keep this car around for as long as I can, and honestly the S650 right now doesn't tempt me as much, but maybe if there's a refresh, that will change the plans. But let's go ahead and talk about it. There's actually going to be a small cars and coffee on the way back, so I figured I might as well check it out because I don't know. The turnouts are definitely getting lower and lower, so eventually we're just not going to get good turnout with the weather changing. So might as well check out that cars and coffee too. If it's not good, we'll head back, but it would be nice to get some more cars in there. They typically have Mustangs and Corvettes there, so it would be nice to see those cars. Man, this road is so nice, but there's just so many cars on it right now. It gets like really windy and insanely fun to drive. This is the Corsa V8 exhaust therapy everyone needs. Just instantly puts a smile on your face. Oh my god, I love this car so much. It's moments like these where I'm like, I don't need to do anything else to this car. I love it as it is, and I can drive it whenever I want to. Which is why I've been considering a project car instead of boosting it, but we'll talk about that. I saw a lot of Corvettes there. I spoke to a Corvette guy, like I think he had a C5, not a Z06, and talked to a couple of Miata guys too. I mean, those cars, they just offer something different. I would like another Mustang as a project car that's a stick shift, but I feel like the Miata and the Corvette would just offer something a little bit different than what I'm used to. Like hopping on another Mustang would be, especially if it's a 3-valve, it's just gonna be less power and it's gonna feel similar. Like I've tried a couple S197s with that intention, and sitting in those after sitting in this car, it's very evident the interior is dated, and that's kind of expected if the car is old, but they don't offer much in terms of driving experience, because the S550 has evolved basically from S197, so it's just a nicer platform. It's the same thing but a different platform. But with the Corvette and Miata just having the low weight to them and just sitting low to the ground, it's just going to be a different experience in my opinion. But of course I don't want to let go of the Mustang, so I'm still open to Mustangs. I'm going to check out a couple 3-valves and even 2-valves as well. Whatever I get, I'm not going to modify it insanely. It's just going to be a nice weekend car, something we can build together, and that would be very fun. So I'm open to ideas. Comment below, what do you guys think I should go with? What are your thoughts on that? Because I want to get something that obviously will do well on the channel as well. Okay, so that car meet typically ends up being a lot smaller than the other ones, but this time, because it's starting to get cold, there were barely any cars, so I didn't get any footage there. There were like few cars there. I just walked around for like maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, that's not the move, so I left. But it was nice to be able to attend the first one, because even though it was less cars than it typically is, but it still got a lot of cars there, so it's just nice to walk around and see all the cars and enjoy them. But unfortunately, it is coming, like the car season is coming to an end, so it's starting to get cold. People putting their summer cars away, and we're left with pretty much cold weather and not much for another few months, so not much footage is going to be for the cars and coffee. Okay, let's talk about my car. As you can see, I have the GT500 spoiler without the Vicar bill, because I initially did not want to get that, because I thought it was going to be way too aggressive. But now I'm starting to think maybe that will kind of help that, based on what I want to do with the car. If I get the wicker bill and get a front splitter, it's going to enhance the look. Because right now, if I look at the car from the front, it just looks, aside from being lowered, it looks pretty much stock, because it is, and there's nothing done to it. You've got the stock front splitter, stock headlights, and everything. So I wouldn't want to change the headlights or even the grill. I like the grill the way it is, but I would want to get a front splitter and really help make the front look a little bit nicer than it currently is. I've always shied away from getting the front splitter because my car is lowered and I figured I would scrape it, but honestly, I don't care. Even if I scrape it here and there, that's just part of owning a lowered car. So I probably won't get something expensive, just something on the cheaper end to at least make it look nicer, but you know, not really. If I scrape it, I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. But other than that, the car is pretty much done. Visually, it sits how I kind of imagined it to be when I was buying it brand new. I've done pretty much everything in terms of tunes as well. I've got the E85 and everything. The next steps are pretty much getting it long tube headers and potentially going boost, and that's where I'm trying to figure it out, to either do a project car or build this car even more. As you guys know, this is my somewhat of a daily. I do have the G37 that I can rely on, but I like driving this car because it's fun to drive. So boosting it comes, but two things that are really holding me is the tires, because I'm going to need to get some nittos, which means less mileage out of them, and also potentially get rid of the cats. And it's already loud as it is, but if I go catless setup, my neighbors are probably gonna hate me. Even though I have the active exhaust and it quiets down just fine, it might be obnoxiously loud, so I would have to change out the exhaust as well. So that's the two, like tires, I've come to terms with it, that if I'm gonna go for a supercharged car, I'm gonna need to put the power down. I'm probably gonna need to get some nittos and not Michelin summer tires. But cats is just really holding me back. And I spoke to Lund Racing about it too. This says sometimes it might be just fine that you're running catless setup, or you're running cats and you'll be fine if you're not doing back-to-back pulls, which I probably won't be doing unless I'm at a drag strip. And I've already replaced cats with this car. So before that, it was just like you get the P0430 code, and then I replaced the cats. It was there for months. But with boosted setups, I'm hearing that it could actually take the motor with it. I definitely don't want that. I know it is pay to play once you start boosting it, but I don't want to take that big of a risk where the motor goes bad and I'm pretty much out of a car and have to rely on the G37 to take me everywhere. So I'm talking to Lund Racing to see maybe if I do ESS, but maybe 125 millimeter pulley. That might help a little bit and have the cat temp protection on the tune. So if it does detect the cats are running hot, it can cool them down, cut timing, whatever it needs to do to make sure the car is safe. That would be the biggest thing. I'm not racing it to, you know, be the fastest S550 out there, but just something that's gonna be fun to drive and have the boosted setup. Because I've always wanted a boosted V8, and I feel like this is the perfect chance to do it. Because S650 right now doesn't entice me as much, so might as well put the money into this build and get what I've always wanted. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see next on the channel? Because really, I like doing these videos. I like making content, and it needs to be feasible. I need to do content that, you know, you guys would appreciate as well. So I could go with the boosted ride with this car, or get a project car like a C5 Corvette or a Miata, or even an S197 Mustang, like maybe probably a 3-valve at that point. Get a stick shift car, do a little mini build series, which would also be exciting. But yeah, so let me know in the comments about what do you guys want to see, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.